Okay, first of all, to go through a little bit, tomorrow, the fast here in LA starts at 5:51 in the morning. So if you want to get up early to fast, you have to have in mind before you're going to sleep that you're going to get up to eat or drink. Otherwise, when you go to sleep, the fast starts. Now, Shachris tomorrow morning is Thursday, so it's a regular Shachris. If there's a minyan of people fasting, the Chazan says in the repetition, Anenu. Okay, you say regular Monday and Thursday Tachnun through Vehurachum. When you get to Avinu Malkeinu, at the end, Avinu Malkeinu, so then you say Slichas, the long Avinu Malkeinu, and Vanachnu Leineda. Okay, so the Slichas, you say Tachnun until Avinu Malkeinu, then you say the long Slichas, the long Avinu Malkeinu, then you have Torah reading for the fast day, and the rest of it is a regular Shachris. Okay, tomorrow afternoon, you have Machzis Shekel, don't forget, before Mincha. Okay, so let's finish up what we didn't finish, because tomorrow night already is Purim. I don't know what we're going to be learning tomorrow night. Okay, so first of all, in Ma'ariv tomorrow night, and on Friday, we say Ala Nisim. In davening and in benching. Now, when you were in Shemon Esrei, if you forget Ala Nisim, you do not repeat the Shemon Esrei. But if you're still within the bracha, and you say Baruch Atah, and you didn't say Hashem's name at the end of the bracha, then you go back to Ala Nisim and you continue. Once you say Hashem at the end of the bracha, that's it. You don't go back to repeat Ala Nisim. In fact, there are opinions in halacha we mentioned in the past that because what happens if you're davening slower and the chazan is about to begin the repetition? Okay, and if you say Ala Nisim, you'll miss Kedusha. If you skip Ala Nisim, you'll be able to say Kedusha with the minyan. So what should you do? There are other opinions in halacha that say, listen, Ala Nisim is not that important because if you forget it, you don't repeat it. So therefore, you skip this is what they hold. You skip Ala Nisim to be able to say Kedusha with the minyan. But we don't hold like that. Samach Tzedek doesn't hold like that. 1 second, no questions. Samach Tzedek doesn't hold like that, and we say Ala Nisim even though we're going to miss Kedusha. And wherever you are in the Shemon Esrei, when the minyan says Kedusha, you just stop. Okay, now the mitzvah, what?
You're not missing Kedusha, don't you stop?
Okay, wait. But you don't say Kedusha, like this you'd say it. Okay, now there's a number of mitzvahs on Purim. First of all, you have the reading of the Megillah that we discussed already, how important it is to hear every single word of the Megillah. The Chatchila, you should wait until nightfall to read the Megillah. In the morning, it's better if you could wait until sunrise. Netzachama. Sunrise to be able to hear the Megillah, but people that have to go to work or whatever, they can hear from Aleisa Shachar. They're allowed to hear the Megillah already. It's just preferred to do it after sunrise. So you have to listen to the Megillah. Shachris, Purim morning, is really a Shachris. It's a regular Shachris. Yad Ala Nisim. There's no Tachnun. You have Torah reading. Vayovav Amalek. Also deals with Amalek. And if somebody missed Parsha Zachar, they can have in mind by the Torah reading of Purim morning that you'll listen to Parsha Zachar then. One second. Let me just move on. Okay, then you have Megillah reading again. Now, in the Megillah reading during the day, there's an argument in halacha if you say a Shechianu again. There's an argument in halacha where you say Shechianu again because you already read it the night before. So why are you saying a Shechianu again? Other opinions hold, no, you have to say Shechianu because number one, the main reading of the two we discussed is the day one, not the night one. Secondly, when you say Shechianu during the day by Megillah reading, when the Chazan says Shechianu, he has to have in mind, and the people have to have in mind, that it goes on the other mitzvahs of Purim also. It goes on the mitzvah Mishloach Manos, the two edibles, Matanos Lavyenim, Sudas Purim. So the Shechianu is a very important thing to say during the day. What's interesting, the Alter Rebbe writes, we don't say Shechianu by day. Samach Tzedek argues on his grandfather, and he says we do say Shechianu. And our custom is that we do say Shechianu like the Samach Tzedek, not like the Alter Rebbe. So we do say Shechianu in the morning also. Now, the mitzvahs of Purim, of Mishleach Manis and Sudas Matanas Lavyonim. Mishleach Manis means, the pasuk says, Mishleach Manos, plural, send gifts, Ish L'Re'ehu. So from there the Gemara learned, and then the pasuk said, Matanos Lo'ev Yoinim. Okay, so the fact that here is singular plural, here is both plural, so the Gemara learns out like this. The mitzvah Mishleach Manos is to give 2 edibles to one person. That's the mitzvah. You gave 2 edibles, ready to eat, food that's ready to eat, not that needs to be cooked or something. Your yaitza, the mitzvah Mishleach Manos. Now, people mistakenly say, and again, nobody knows where this comes from, that the 2 things have to be 2 separate brachas. It's not true. You can give an apple and a pear. It's the same bracha and 2 different foods. You can give 2 shahakals. You can give, in fact, to the extent, Paskin discuss, I don't want to elaborate on it, Paskin discuss, is white meat and dark meat of a chicken 2 things or 1 thing? If so, you give somebody a tuna fish sandwich. Is that 2 things or is it 1 thing? Is it bread and tuna or is it... But you can give food and drink also. You can give a drink also. It doesn't have to be 2 edible foods. It could be a food and a drink. But that has to be given Purim day. If you give it Purim night, the night of Purim, you're not Yaitze. Mishleach Manos Matanas Lavyonim and this Purim must be during the day of Purim. So therefore, I mention every year, those people that have, a lot of these schools have shuttles. The Purim shuttle, you donate money to the school, and then they send, based on how many people donated to they send the various people that you order for. But the people should not rely on that to fulfill the mitzvah Mishleach Manos for a lot of reasons. Number 1, it probably doesn't come necessarily on the day of Purim. Secondly, it might not be enough food for each one of the 2 people. You have to give you can't give a peanut and a raisin. Now, even though it's 2 things, in fact, it's even 2 separate brachas, one's Adama, one's right, but that doesn't mean anything. Because it says it has to be a choshev, it has to be at least a kazayas, some poskim write. Some poskim hold it should even be more. But it has to be at least a kazayas, 1 ounce, and something substantial. You know, you can't give a peanut and a raisin. I mean, yeah, but it's like...
Can I give you?
You can give me whatever you want. So then, but there should be a choshev of food, at least a kazayas of each one of the 2. So people should give Mishleach Manos. It's customary, in fact, there's one opinion that says you're not Yaitze, we don't pass on like that in Mishleach Manos you have to send through a shliach. You can't just give it to somebody. You have to send it through a shliach. Why? Because it says Mishloach Manos. With a shliach. But Lepel is a singular opinion. Everybody disagrees with him. And they hold that you can give it even through yourself. You know, people don't have kids. When you bring it to somebody, you give it to them yourself. The Gemara says another way you could be Mekayim the mitzvah Sudas Purim. The Gemara tells a number of stories that the Amiroim of the Gemara was sitting on Purim. And so how did they do Mishleach Manos? They switched each other's meals. Rabbi gave Rab Zayda his meal, and Rab Zayda gave Rabbi his meal. And they were Mekayim the mitzvah of Mishleach Manos like that. That's Mishleach Manos. So people should give at least 2 edibles to 1 person. Men have to give to men, women have to give to women. But, L'Moshe, it says, why? Because of Shaila of Kedushin, whatever. So, but the bottom line is, it says in halacha that a man is able to give, let's say, to his sister. Or a child can give to a son can give to a mother. Because over there is not a fear of any Shaila of maybe marriage. So a brother can send a sister. When people send families to families, that's what they usually do. They send families to families. It's still better, as brought down in halacha, that one shalach manos should be from the man to a man and from the woman to the woman, instead of what? You mean if they don't like each other, they're not friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's called Yisharayim. Yeah, it's good. Matanas Lavyonim. Matanas Lavyonim, you have to give at least 2 coins to 2 poor people. You need 1 coin to 1 poor person, another coin to another poor person. Obviously, the more you give Matanas Lavyonim, the Rambam writes, Shechnoach says, the better it is. It's better to give more Matanas Lavyonim than Mishleach Manos, because there's nothing greater by Hashem than the poor man is getting what they need. So again, Matanis Avyonim also has to be given during the day. What happens though, if somebody wants, they can give to somebody, like they can give me money and say, do me a favor, give it out for me on Purim. So even though they gave it to me before Purim, but I'm doing it for them on Purim. But what happens if you don't have a poor person to give it to? So it says you put away the money, and then when you find the poor person, you give it to him. But you have to designate the money on Purim itself to give to the poor person. One more thing that is important also this year, especially Sudas Purim. Normally, the custom with Purim is not on Friday. Say Purim, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it is. So earlier in the afternoon, you daven mincha, and then you sit down to the Seudah, and then you could extend it into the night. But some poskim write the main part of the Seudah has to be during the day, other poskim write not necessarily. But you have to start the Seudah late in the afternoon. That's the custom, and then, you go as long as it goes. The problem is this year it's Friday. Now there's a din Shulchan Aruch about Friday that you're not allowed to eat a lot Friday afternoon. Why? Because there's a mitzvah of eating a meal Friday night. So because it's a mitzvah to eat a meal Friday night, if you're going to do a big meal Friday afternoon, you're not going to be able to have the appetite to eat the Friday night meal. So therefore, even in Shulchan Aruch it says, let's say somebody needs to make a bris on Friday. You should do the Seudah in the morning, not in the afternoon. So because it's, B'chlal, every year Purim, by the way, every year Purim, halachically you can eat the Seudah in the morning. It doesn't have to be in the afternoon. But when Purim is Friday like this year, then the din is the Purim Seudah should be in the morning, before 1 o'clock. If not, in Shulchan Aruch it says you can lechatchila start Seudas Purim before the 10th hour, which this year in LA is like 4:30. So you shouldn't start your Seudah Friday afternoon after 4:30 in the afternoon. You should start preferably the proper time for Seudas Purim is in the morning, when it's Friday. Now, according to many opinions, you need to wash for Hametzi. And according to many opinions, you're supposed to have meat. Now, what happens if somebody doesn't like meat, or, whatever, then they don't eat meat.
What if they don't like meat for breakfast?
Huh?
What if they don't like meat for breakfast?
Lahavda, the goyim have bacon and eggs in the morning.
I'm saying this year.
I understand. So you don't have to eat it in the morning. The chatzais is like 1 o'clock. 12 o'clock, you can have a deli sandwich. That's bread and meat. Huh?
What is it you're saying here, Rabbi?
What? It says also you eat kreplach. Now kreplach is meat covered with dough. Usually it's fried or baked, either way. So there's a me'inyan of eating kreplach and Purim. There's a story told with the Rebbe that for whatever reason the Rebbetzin one time did this, the way they tell the story. One time the Rebbetzin did make kreplach for whatever reason, and the Rebbe took a piece of, instead of screaming at his wife like most husbands would do, the Rebbe took a piece of chicken or whatever it was, meat, took a piece of challah, went like this to it, made an indentation, put the meat inside the challah, and he said, we have kreplach. Improvised kreplach that he made. What? It depends. If it's flour and water baked, it's hametzi. If it's flour and juice, whatever, then it's mezainis. But you only make a bracha on the mezainis, not on the shackle.